Hi everyone, I'm Zhena, and I am very excited today to be interviewing Enliven author and my friend Ann Barham. She is a past life regressionist and marriage family therapist. So she's got the creds. She's not just new age woo, but Ann did a past life regression on me, and we thought we should have a conversation about it because it's been a huge game changer. And you can go to the Zhena TV blog and read all about it. And this video also will be posted across all social media. And Ann's book is called The Past Life Perspective, and it's a very beautiful book. Hold on, I'm going to grab it. I love the cover. And it just happens to be Ann's favorite colors, which is perfect.
Which I'm also wearing today.
Yeah, so this is The Past Life Perspective by Ann Barham. And Ann, tell us a little bit about what made you think to write this book.
Well, I've been doing this work for close to 20 years, and I keep copious files on my clients and all of the amazing stories that have come up in session as I've taken people to prior lifetimes to resolve issues in their current life. And I just kept thinking these stories are too wonderful and too fascinating to just be in my files. I really need to share them with the world. And also, not only are they very fascinating and entertaining, but there's just some amazing life lessons and spiritual guidance and higher knowledge that these stories can share with the world at large.
I definitely got that. I mean, some of the stories, I feel this is really great spiritual summer reading. And, you know, when we were editing the book, and I just was reading these stories and I was thinking, novels have nothing on real life. So tell us, you know, about one or two of these that really struck you and made you go, you know what, I'm definitely putting this in the book.
Oh, as far as select, you know, and it was really hard to select what stories to put in because I've had so many really fascinating stories come up. I think occasionally for me, what really strikes me when the prior personality from the past comes through really dramatically in sessions. So
because people are hypnotized. Yeah, they're hypnotized.
I really feel like I'm with that person.
Yeah.
So one of those, a good example of that was a fellow he was an attorney who was kind of questioning his life purpose, and he went back to a lifetime in the Italian Renaissance where he was a member of the Medici family, which is a very prominent family. And I truly thought I had Signore Medici in my office there. He was expounding about art and literature and how the people had to know. And he had to get this out to people at large, and how learning was so important, and his love of books. And I mean, it really was incredible. The personality and the presence came through so dramatically.
It's incredible.
So that's one of the ways I chose my stories.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, I did a past life regression with you back in November of 2015, right before Thanksgiving. And like I said, it's on the Zhena TV blog. I wrote about it this morning. And I was looking for a solution. Well, first of all, I needed to go through a session because I can't be a publisher of something and, you know, expound on it without having done it myself. And so it's a perk of the job. And I was not expecting, I really didn't have any expectations, but what I wanted to figure out is why I felt like I had to work myself to the bone and why I felt bad for charging for my time. It's been, you know, it would be to the point where I would work so many hours on a project and then payday would come and I'd only bill for half my time. Or with the tea company that I used to own and run, I would discount my products before the buyer even opened their mouth. And it was like, I would be working so hard to get this product to market and it was so expensive. And so, but I just didn't know how.
You wouldn't let yourself reap the rewards.
Yeah, and so you took me back to a lifetime, and I'm Ukrainian gypsy, which most of you know if you know me. But I went back to a lifetime where I kept trying to be Ukrainian, but I was hypnotized, aware of this world, but hypnotized also. And I was Vietnamese or Cambodian, and I was a little girl, and I was in a labor camp where my hard work actually was in exchange to stay alive versus there was no payment. Obviously, it was a labor camp. And during the session, I didn't really connect what that was going to mean. I didn't actually realize how elegant that was in explanation of my issue. And you said something to me also at the end. You said, you don't have to try really hard to integrate this. This will just automatically...
It works underneath the surface without, you're having to be real conscious of it.
You're 1,000% correct. Because I had no effort, but all of a sudden my behavior started to change. And I wasn't realizing they were starting to change till, several weeks later when I looked at, Thanksgiving, for instance, which I wrote about in the blog. It was like, I normally feed 30 to 35 people. I don't ask for help. I work myself to the bone. I end up spending 3 days setting up, 3 days cleaning up. And this time, this Thanksgiving, without even realizing I was doing it, I told everybody to bring a dish. And one family, there was like 6 of them. I said, they were flying in, no ability. And I said, yeah, give me some cash. That'd be great. Because it'll offset all the flowers and the linens and the wine and the food. Right. I would never in a million years had ever even thought to say that. But,
so that was really a revolutionary change for you.
It was huge. And it's been really interesting where I'm letting myself rest from work. I'm still pretty much a workaholic because I love working, because my work is my purpose. But at the same time, I'm caring for myself in ways that were effortless. So I really want to thank you for that. And it was really a big shift in me and my subconscious. And so, it really is a profound thing. And so even if we don't believe in past lives, because I believe in everything until proven otherwise. It's like anything God wants to show me or the divine, it's like, okay, I'm there. And at the same time, I'm not sure I entirely believed in it. And I also had fantasies.
And that's part of the beauty of this whole approach is that I've had many, many clients who don't know what they think about the whole thing, but they're kind of at an impasse at a certain aspect of their life. They've tried a variety of techniques that haven't quite done it. They've really tried efforting really hard, and that hasn't quite done it. And they decide, what the heck, let me give this a try. And
what else? What else can I do, possibly? Yeah. Oh, I'll just go into my past life.
Even coming from that perspective, the technique seems to really work for people. So we can even look at it as just a very rich metaphor that's coming from your unconscious, that's illustrating these dynamics, but it also serves, as you've seen, to shift things for you that many other approaches don't seem to shift. So somehow we're getting at some energy block or some attitude or belief system that hasn't been held consciously. We're bringing it to the surface, and then we're working through to actually release it and let it go so you can move forward more freely.
Yeah, it's really, and I think one thing you just said, and I'm going to just grab the book again. One thing you just said I think is so true. It's the effort. We, self-help, motivational, fixing ourselves. There's so much to do, so much to fix. And every blog post is like, oh, the 10 things happy people do. And the 10 things, the 7 things unhappy people do. The this, the that, do this, do that. The success, be successful, find your purpose, and obviously finding your purpose. But for me, I really love this because it was one of those self-help or spiritual transformations that was effortless. Once I got past the fear of, setting aside an hour and a half.
Yes, you have to give it a little time.
In my schedule.
It not work for that long.
Yeah. So I really appreciate the book, and the book is called The Past Life Perspective: Discovering Your True Nature Across Multiple Lifetimes. And Anne has done a great job of really. You've done a great job really. Not being plain spoken, but just being very accessible, because you're a therapist and there's a lot of lingo. We all have the DSM 4 or 5. It's like, oh, narcissism and this and that, and you really in very accessible language explain these concepts. And then I love how you integrate them at the end, and you just have takeaways, and so it reads like a really good spiritual summer fiction beach read, but then it also, the takeaways are gentle and effortless, really. The essential truths uncovered and expanding your horizons and your perspective. It's like how beautiful that we don't have to fear death because it's the beginning of a new, profound life. So I thought, right, exactly. I think it's amazing. So tell me what. Thank you,
and it's great to hear that that I accomplished my objective of making this really down to earth and accessible to people, because that was one of my key objectives, was to bring these concepts and to bring these realizations to a larger audience, so we really can shift our worldview and our understanding of our commonality with other people.
I love that, because at Enliven, all of you guys, all my authors are mission driven, and it really struck me when we first met, that you really were wanting to do this to open up and actually create more unity in all of us. And it was interesting for me too, because being Vietnamese or Cambodian, I believe I was Cambodian in that lifetime, in that labor camp. I really feel like I was there and I went through it. And my girlfriend has a nonprofit there called Lotus Outreach, and they have schools for girls. And I'm reading their materials anew. I'm looking at the pictures anew. It really has opened my perspective in a visceral way, in a very it's a very spiritual, kind of hard to explain way, but really wonderful. So the book is The Past Life Perspective, and your website is pastlives.org. And I just want to ask you one little thing. What was your writing process like?
Well, I did have the idea of writing this book for quite a few years, and I'd sit down and maybe write one chapter, and then I wouldn't do anything for a number of months. So I finally actually got a professional coach who set timelines for me, and it turns out I respond very well to
deadlines.
Someone else's timelines that I'm reportable to. So that works for me, and I was able to start cracking out a number of chapters, even more than he had asked me to produce in a week. And then, got input from people, but for the most part, it was really making sure I blocked out the time to sit down and write. And since I had the notes from all of my clients pretty readily accessible, that part of it was easy. The client stories rolled out really easily, and it took a bit more thought with some of the other chapters.
The reflection. Yeah. Well, you did.
Then I had wonderful editorial input from
Emily and
from Emily
Moi and your agent.
Ian. And so it was a fun process, but to tell you, it was the easy part, was the writing.
Getting the word out. But so the book is The Past Life Perspective. You can find it on all major booksellers' websites. You can find it at independent booksellers. You can find it on pastlives.org. And I highly, highly recommend it, not just because I'm the publisher, but I'm a believer, and I've actually had amazing results from this process. So Anne Barham, thank you so much for your dedication to helping people live fulfilled and opening their perspectives to their vastness through time.
Thank you, and thank you for being willing to share your regression story.
Yeah, no problem. I'm an open book. All right. So for more about Enliven Books, you can go to enlivenbooks.com. Very soon we'll have enlivenbookclub.com, and you will be able to hear more interviews with Anne. And then Anne's website is pastlives.org, and you can find us on Facebook, both of us, Enliven Books or Zhena, and Past Lives, or Past Life with Regression, right?
Yeah, well, it gets confusing between Facebook and Twitter.
So past lives.
They can find everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, my friends. Happy reading, and all the best. And I love you guys. Take care.